And then the other neighbor, I don't exactly know what's wrong with them. It has stopped now. It has stopped. But there was like for a few days, every night I would wake up around 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. and I would hear like a dog howling outside. You know, it's not terribly loud, but it's loud enough to kind of wake me up, you know. So imagine waking up, your room is dark, you're alone, just with a dog and everything, and you hear like a freaking dog, not my dog, but like another dog howling outside, you know, just like, ooh, like that, right? Every single night. And then one time while I was taking my dog out for a walk, I was talking to this other neighbor, and I asked her, she's a sweet old lady, right? So I asked her, Mrs. Sweet Old Lady, how are you? And then they'd be like, Miss Fiona, I'm good. My knees are hurting. And I'd be like, Mrs. Old Lady, that's what happens when you're old. That's what happens when you're old. Anyway, is it just me, Mrs. Old Lady? But did any of the neighbors get a new dog or something? And then the Mrs. Old Lady is like, oh, sweetie, you didn't know? And I was like, no, what? No, it's not a dog, Kiona. You know this one neighbor? Yeah? So that's not a dog. That's him crying. And I was like, that was a person? Yeah, I checked with the other ladies in the neighborhood. He would climb to the roof and cry. And this is how you know I'm Indonesian. My first instinct is to ask you, oh, did they get possessed? And then Mrs. Old Lady was like, no, he was just crying. And then I was like, oh, but he stopped, right? Yeah, he stopped. He stopped because some of the other neighbors complained. And me in my mind is like, yeah, no shit, they complain. Imagine waking up every night because your neighbor is a wannabe werewolf, you know? In every level except physical, I am a dog. Woof. That's my neighbor. And then I was talking to like some of the other neighbors, you know, the neighborhood ladies who always gossip. Like sometimes we have like veggie sellers who go around selling their produce using like motorcycles. So, you know, they'll like stop by in one spot or whatnot, you know. So one morning, I don't usually do this. Sometimes like I would buy vegetables, not really from the veggie merchant. I'll just call them the veggie merchant. Makes me feel like a fantasy character, you know? It makes me feel like he's a potion seller or something. So I'll just call him the merchant, okay? I don't usually buy from the merchant, but I want that sweet gossip, you know? I want that sweet gossip. And if you're Indonesian, you know that the sweet gossip is like you gotta wake up early, and then you gotta know where the veggie merchant is gonna be like selling his wares, like in which spot in your neighborhood, yeah. And then you gotta go there and you gotta start like talking with like the ladies of the neighborhood, you know, the ladies of the neighborhood, you know. A sweet gossip. Yeah, hell yeah. One day I went there, you know, I just like, shit, I'm out of fucking bean sprout. I want some bean sprout. So, and then I saw that the veggie merchant was stopping by, so I'm like, why not? So I came there, you know, and I start talking to the ladies, and they're like, Hyuna, so nice to see you this early in the morning. And I was like, Mrs. Cucumber and Mrs. Eggplant and Mrs. Carrot, how are you this fine evening? We're doing fine. And you know, you gotta have to do all the pleasantries and ask them about their husband and kids. If they have dogs, maybe also ask about their dogs, you know. And then I saw an opening because they were talking about our neighborhood. So I saw an opening, you know. When life gives you lemons, you throw it back at life because fuck your lemons. But more importantly, you make lemon juice sometimes, right? I asked them like, so is it just me, or has anybody else been hearing like some like this neighbor apparently crying on the rooftop? Kaya I've been waiting for this. And it told me, yeah, that guy. He's like brokenhearted. Why? He just broke up with his girlfriend. So you're telling me I've been waking up every like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. thinking that finally my Wattpad fanfictions are coming true and I'm actually living in the same neighborhood with a werewolf who I can interrogate, you know? But no, it's just sad boy hour? Look, I feel bad for anybody who like just broke up with their partner, or you know, had to separate with their partner, whatever the reason is. But can you not go howl at the moon at like 1 a.m? Can you at least do it in active hours, like in the noon? I think I'd be much more accepting of it if you do it in the afternoon. We're Southeast Asians, okay? Somebody howling on top of motorbike noises, people noises, chicken and duck noises, market noises, neighbors gossiping noises. It's just another Tuesday. I would just like compile it into like, just another day in Southeast Asia, you know?